Oh, dear.
All right. Hopefully everyone's emotionally prepared for this. Don't know if I am, but I'm never emotionally prepared for anything ever. So here we go. Hello and welcome to the final episode of Oh Dear, presented by Bo's Bar and Stage.
Yeah!
Well, I literally wrote Lund, like a prompt for you to hold for applause. So that's perfect. We have lots of friends with us again tonight. The studio audience applause was kind of shitty. So let's do it one more time. Studio audience here tonight. Lots of friends with us. Hopefully a few more coming. Lots of people here. We have a couple guys from Door Tender. Riley from Cilantro and Chive fed us again, which means I might break another stool. Next time, maybe a salad next time, Riley. Vincent from Saks Thrift Ave. Mike from Alberta Asian Motorworks and Alberta European Motorworks. And Lund, what was the other one?
Soon to be Antarctica.
Motorworks.
I was gonna say Antarctica Asian Motorworks, but that didn't make sense.
A couple former guests too. The athlete, Uncle Meat, Kevin Strybosh is here.
Yeah.
Aaron's husband, Griff, if you remember from whatever episode it was that we did the firefighter shoot. Still, he's the one to blame for that happening. So that's why we brought him just as a scapegoat.
And he's still got that rockin' bod too.
Well, I don't know. Let's see it.
Soon. But really happy to have some friends here with us tonight to help say a final farewell to the Oh Dear podcast. So thank you all for joining us here at Communal Creative Studios. Really sad Ryan and Riley could not be here with us tonight because they're just so damn busy. But we're just going to start off right away. Thank you to them for everything they've done and letting us use the space tonight and have a nice little get together here.
Or party.
Yeah.
They said
get together now. They said no parties.
No, they said go ahead and trash the place after you're done. I'm pretty sure
I started with that stool on the last episode we recorded. But I'm Ted Emmett, joined by my friends. Again, not going to say anything mean. Dustin Moore, Kevin Walsh, Ryan Lund, and coworker Aaron. So honestly, I've fired way too many brilliant, unbelievable zingers your way over the last 2 years. If he was the prize in a race, everyone would be running backwards. Ryan Lund, welcome back. They say he has a heart of gold. I think it's mostly butter and other forms of cholesterol. Dustin Moore, how you doing? Like the old saying goes, he's an episode late and a foot short. So Kevin, how's it going? If he was any more handsome, that would be great. Ryan Lund, how's it going? Joined again by the man whose face could make an onion cry. I'm back to being mean, by the way. Dustin Moore, how are you? And you know what? He's the best looking guy in the room, but we need a paper bag for his personality. Kevin Walsh, how's it going? As always, is a man who never needs to be ashamed of who he is because his parents do that for him. Dustin Moore, how's it going?
Hey-o. I always know it's me first. So I'm like, oh man, what's he going to hit me with today?
He's never come across a word he couldn't use incorrectly. Dustin Moore, how's it going? Now I got to introduce the man who's never come across a salad. Ryan Lund, how's it going?
Thanks, Ted. Yeah.
The face that ate 1,000 chips. Dustin Moore, how's it going? If laughter is the best medicine, maybe this guy's face could finally cure COVID. Ryan Lund, how's it going?
Thanks, Ted. Yeah, you can just call me the Cure from now on.
I'm really excited for the boat puns, by the way, so buckle up. I'm not alone, joined, as always, by this motley crew, starting with old Ship for Brains himself, Dustin Moore. How's it going? Well, and when he starts talking, we all stop listening. Kevin Walsh, how's it going?
Ooh.
As always, last but not least, the man whose birth certificate is just an apology letter from the condom company, Ryan Lund. How's it going?
Okay, mine wasn't so bad.
Joining me, as always, is the biggest Halloweenie of all, Dustin Moore. How's it going?
Big weenie. Gotta like that start.
That's not what he said.
Yeah. A man whose voice is like a software update because every time it pops up, we all think, not now. Kevin Walsh, how's it going? Happy New Year.
We had a team
Not
meeting.
now. Not now.
Kind, generous, thoughtful, witty, and handsome are all words. Anyways, Ryan Lund, how's it going? Starting with the man who is living proof that there are no stupid questions, just stupid answers, Dustin Moore, how's it going? Well, old dillweed himself, Ryan Lund, how's it going? Hey, speaking of everyone's favorite dipstick, Ryan Lund, how's it going? The best way to describe this guy is the human version of a migraine. Ryan Lund, welcome back.
Yeah, I just never go away.
A man who only has 2 remaining brain cells, and they're both fighting for third place, Dustin Moore. Again, here with us, as always, is someone whose point of view I would like to share, but can't get my head that far up my ass. Dustin Moore, how's it going?
Good one.
Also with us is a man who needs a step stool to share pretty much anyone's point of view, Kevin Walsh. One free shot. Give me your best intro. Well, I'll do my best to just sit here and take it.
This guy must have been born on a highway because that's where most accidents happen. Good to see you, Ted Emmett.
All right, now next up, here's a guy that if he saved as much money as he spends on his hair, he could probably afford his own house by now. Ted Emmett.
Just nothing but nice things to say right now.
I feel like I'm at the popular kids table at the gathering area back at Notre Dame with all these people here.
Just watching, waiting to see what we're going to do. Yeah.
I remember you thought you were so cool, but you'd be like sticking peas and shit up your nose because you thought that was cool.
Yeah, and then I blasted.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was cool.
Well, anyone who wasn't here a year ago when we did the studio audience, welcome to what a recording of Oh Dear looks like. Not a typical episode because we did the last formal episode, which Dustin thought meant dress up for, but you look nice anyway, so it doesn't matter. But this is like a farewell episode and not to, oh, hey, you're all going to miss us type of episode, but really just our way to say a final goodbye and thank you to everyone who supported us here. So yeah, how is everyone feeling last ever recording?
5 beers in.
Yeah, we did. We recorded another episode 31 right before this, and these guys didn't behave. So we'll see how this goes.
I'm just happy to be here for episode 32.
I'm just happy for the hundreds of people out there in the audience tonight. Let's hear it once again, guys. And Riley, if you could green screen in a whole bunch of more people here, that'd be fantastic.
I'm real sad, and I have a lot of big feelings about this. So we'll see how this goes.
All right. Yeah. Well, obviously, we're going to talk a lot about the last 2 years tonight. Have a couple of podcast-specific Ask Us Anything questions from the last episode for us to go through. Of course, we are going to chat with a couple of our willing guests that are here tonight to come join us at the table for a little bit. But let's start off with an obvious question. Flashback to November 2020. Yeah, 2020. Holy shit. That's 2 years. That's math. Back when it was Walsh's birthday, we were out for beers talking about starting a podcast. And even think to that day in December on Lund's deck. Do you even think we'd have 2 years later be saying farewell to a podcast? No.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not your turn yet.
I wish we could have captured that because Riley's so right. It is actually the most screwed up thing to think that we had a podcast for 2 years and that people listen and that we got community involved and got these amazing businesses and community champions that we talked about earlier on episode 31 involved in this, and the amount of people we've met, the interviews we've had. We had the mayor on the last episode. Like, it's actually pretty fucked up when you think about it.
It's lightning in a bottle.
I remember being so hungover for that first episode. I'd lost some money on betting on football, and it was just a terrible day. And I was thinking, oh God, okay, we're going to do this like once, maybe twice, and then Ted will find something else to move on. I'll just do it so I don't hear him complain anymore. And then turns out we did it for 2 whole years. So we did it for 30 more episodes than I thought we'd get to, which is pretty impressive.
31.
No, I thought we'd get 1. I thought we would do 1.
Yeah, this is episode 32.
Oh shit. Yeah. See? Time flies, my friend.
And flashing back to episode 1, do you remember who you looked like on that deck? What TV show we made a reference to?
I don't think he remembers being on the deck.
Yeah.
Come on. It was a show we all grew up with. It was 2 letters.
I had sunglasses on. I was wearing my big coat.
You look like you're from Chino.
Oh, the OC. Ryan from the OC.
There you go.
If Ryan from the OC stayed up for 48 hours straight drinking whiskey and doing cocaine.
Okay,
then he didn't. Hold on.
I've never done cocaine.
He just looked like it.
Looked like.
Mom,
that's what he looked like.
I promise I've never done coke.
Kelly, he just looked like it. Just a regular bag of shit.
Hey, you were no prize either.
I was wearing a nice Christmas sweater that day, but you know what? I'm the one, I actually had faith even before we started that this was going to be good. And I don't know if we've told this story, Dustin, why this podcast started, but back when Dustin and I both worked together at Hockey Alberta, like I had been out of radio, I think at that point for 3-4 years and hadn't really done anything like on the production side. And they wanted to start a podcast there. And so I thought, oh, that actually would be fun. I'll, take the lead, host it, produce it. And I think it was the 3rd episode, Dustin, you came on as a guest, talking about your past in hockey and what you were doing there at Hockey Alberta. And I don't know, I think I sat down at my desk after recording. I was there for maybe 47 seconds. Dustin comes by, just like appears out of nowhere. We need to do it. We should do a fun podcast. We should do a podcast on our own. I think we should do it. And what did I say to you right then and there?
Fuck off.
Yeah, that is exactly what I said. I said, fuck off, because I'm going to have to do all the work. You guys are going to be idiots and it's not going to work. And then I thought about it for like 3-4 days and you know what? Maybe this might work.
And the exact thing happened.
Yeah,
We were idiots and you did all the work.
Yeah.
Sucker. But Dustin had planted the seed to you, and then there was like 5 nights where we're just out drinking at the bar or at the pub or whatever, and you would bring it up and we would discuss the merits of it, and obviously you kept bringing it up, I think, more than anything, and it was just somehow you made it happen. So,
and I do remember like Lund didn't want to do it, and I thought, okay, if we're going to do this, we need Ryan Lund as part of this podcast. And right off the first episode, everyone saw why.
You needed my house. You didn't need me. You just needed my house.
We needed both.
So
we wanted both. You're a double
okay.
threat. Yeah, you brought a lot to the table.
Ladies, I am a homeowner. So
And
Ladies, I live with a homeowner.
and you have a bidet,
I have a bidet.
the Tushy.
Yeah.
Tushy 2.0. We actually got into that last podcast, so watch episode 31 if you want to hear more about my bidet.
Honestly, 31 episodes at that point. I've never seen Lund more focused, better mic placement. Like he projected, he was so into it, talking about wiping his ass. Not having to.
Yeah.
Well, at first it started with toilet paper because you're about which way to put the toilet paper roll on.
Yeah, and then I don't use any toilet paper anymore because I have a bidet.
you use none?
Oh, I know. I use a little bit. Anyway, I feel like we're backtracking here.
But anyways, so 2 years later, here we are. It's been a wild ride. It does suck that it's ending, but you know what? I think this is a fun way to end it here. Having people, hopefully we behave and don't get into our usual.
You know what? It's tough. We do have a studio audience for the second time, and I think pretty much every single audience member brought alcohol. And not just alcohol for themselves. They brought alcohol for everybody. So it's really tough to not drink it.
Yeah, I'm not going to behave.
Yeah, and like we have this giant bottle of Prosecco in front of us. Thank you, Door Tender guys. Here's a fun story. Door Tender was our very first sponsor.
See that hole in the roof? That's the first bottle of wine they gave
We're on a
us.
podcast. Like you can't just point.
Well, we got a studio audience, Ted.
Dustin's pointing to a hole in the roof here in the studio.
It's not a hole.
That wasn't our first. That was our first episode here in studio. But anyway, Brian from Door Tender is here. Brian, we've talked 100 times. Again, you were a first sponsor. This is the first time Brian and I have met in 2 years. It's
Do we actually know if this is Brian?
I know Troy, so Troy will vouch for him.
Troy could have brought a friend.
I heard him in the hall. What's my name again? Bran? Yeah.
It's like that Friends.
Hey guys, I'm Brent. Yeah.
It's like that Friends episode when Phoebe. Come on, help me out here. Who does Phoebe bring? Mike.
Oh,
You're Mike today.
Oh, yeah.
And then she marries him. It's such a Ryan.
so are you saying you're trying to set up Ted and Brian?
I don't know.
what
Brian's
he's
pretty
saying, man.
successul.
I don't think you should have this can of tequila. That's in front of you right now.
Brian gave that to me. That was a present.
All right. Well, now that we went down memory lane a bit, we do have, we're going to go back there a bit more. A couple of listener questions that we got from our final Deer Call last episode. First of all, Ashley wants to know, be careful because a lot of them are in this room, your favorite guest to interview.
The mayor.
Oh my God, Griffin.
Yeah, Griff, you better behave, Griff, because the mayor's just one call away. Yeah.
Is that my wife that asked that question?
No.
Oh.
No, your wife asked, can you keep it going, please, and get Dustin out of the house more?
Yeah, right, Ted. Can I go first?
I think Aaron
Aaron
went
went
Second.
first.
Okay, second. I'll pick a friend of mine, actually, that our sponsor, Bose Barn Stage, has another company, Sunsport Recreation. We got to go on a cool cruise with Brandon Sutter. And I thought, not that Brandon was the coolest interview because he's like one of my good friends, but
Wow, that's a not so humble brag. Guys, I'm really good friends with an NHL player and you're not. Just so
Yeah.
you know.
you're welcome. But being on the boat, although it was a little bit of a miserable day, it was pretty cool having some door tender drinks on the boat.
It was my
with
birthday
Brandon.
too.
Yeah, and it was your
Oh,
birthday.
yeah.
So that was my
a hat.
coolest interview. Was that
was-
yours too?
No, not anymore.
That's still mine.
So my coolest interview is actually with Griff, or who's here tonight. And Griff, who else was in the interview?
Steven.
Steve. So it was the same day we did the photo shoot for our firefighter calendar, which is the most ridiculous thing because 3 of the 4 of us are not in shape at all. But I think we all have the attitude for modeling and the spirit. And I thought Steven really brought it out of us. I really didn't have any shame that day.
Yeah, really, Mr. Fruit of the Loop. You walked by 2 cops in your underwear in the parking lot. Just gave them like the nod. Like,
I was
yeah,
like,
I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, I got the okay from Griff. It's okay.
And you had a sock in your underwear as you were walking past those
Oh
cops.
yeah, like I'm the first model to stuff. But what I didn't realize is like when we did this shoot, I didn't realize we'd be handing out those calendars to absolutely everybody for the next year. So we've handed them out to some embarrassing, like the mayor.
Yeah.
We obviously didn't take it because
Yeah. That was our last
scandal,
one, though.
but-
So
That's fine.
So anyway, that
Slippery Susan.
that
she
was
got
probably
one.
Where
the-
Susan still has them up in her house.
that was probably the funnest interview I did.
that wasn't even like the interview part, but
I think I was just like half naked doing it.
Yeah.
so
It's
that's
true.
probably-
You
You
were-
did
you-
not get dressed.
no. I'm going to pick one and not to single anyone out, but I have a good reason. He's standing right here in this room. My favorite interview, honestly, was with Troy from Door Tender back on, I think, episode 7 for a lot of reasons. First, too, again, we didn't really, I think you guys knew Troy a little bit, but we didn't. And it was COVID. It was on Zoom, but it was a really fun interview. We learned a lot about Door Tender and like your guys' story. But I think that's too, when we took the step where when we started this podcast, we were maybe trying to get like some bigger names as guests. And that's where we
No offense,
really...
no offense, Troy.
No. He even said it. He said it right in the interview because we interviewed you right after Cam Moon. But it was really that step where this is how we can like help Red Deer tell its story, right? And help your business tell their story. And that's really kind of where we went with after that. So I had a lot of comments on it. It's one of our, it was one of our most listened to episodes. I know you guys shared it a lot too, but that was one where it was just kind of a turning point for us. That's like, yeah, there are a lot of great people in Red Deer and a lot of great stories to tell. And that's kind of where we kind of took that and ran with it. So that is why that's my most memorable interview.
I'd like to change my answer.
Yeah. What do you mean? Because you said I already talked.
Well, yeah, because I agreed with you. No, but Cam Moon. That guy. It was-
I thought you were going to say Troy.
Oh, fuck Troy.
no one mentioned Riley.
Well, he did the old deer burger though. How cool is that?
That's true. But Cam Moon, I was blown away by, we were asking him questions about like the 2002, 2003 Rebels that like won the Memorial Cup. And he was talking about all the players on the ice for this particular goal in the third period of the final game of the season. Like his memory was unbelievable. And it was very palpable about how excited he was that he was now living out his childhood dream, calling Oilers games. So that was really cool.
What a word.
Palpable.
I don't even know what that means.
Dustin thinks that's the bad guy from Star Wars. Yeah.
Okay, Lund.
That's Palpatine.
Give me the definition
That's
of palpable.
You can't. That's not a thing.
I don't know, but I know Emperor Palpatine was a bad dude.
But I think on that note, I think it's safe to say, and we really mean this, we did not have one bad interview.
No.
Like they were all amazing and memorable in different ways. So this might be a harder one to peg because I'm probably the only one who like remembers episode by episode. But does anyone have a favorite episode you recorded? And that might run into like most memorable thing, but even just like being here in the studio, like a favorite episode.
The Christmas episode last year when we had our first studio audience, it was just really fucking fun.
Wow, that's a good answer.
Thank you.
Didn't expect that. I think my favorite episode actually was Riley's interview, just because that was the first time, like, we did it on the patio of Cilantro and Chive. It was the first time we felt like a big deal because they like cleared the patio for us.
Clear. It wasn't even open yet. They didn't clear it.
They opened the patio for us.
And it was 2:30.
March, 2:30 on a Thursday in March.
There was like one other table out there, and I like we just asked them to keep it down because we were recording, which I thought was so fucking funny. Hey guys, keep down, we're recording. And like so many people like walked by and people were like watching from inside, and I thought, oh man, we're actually doing something here. Because before that, I think we had just recorded in my house. I think that was the first
Zoom, yeah.
That was the first time we had recorded outside of my deck or my basement.
Mhm.
So I thought, oh wow, this is going to last a lot longer than 7 episodes.
Yeah, because that was episode 8. So of course it
Was it
lasted
actually?
longer. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So I'll piggyback off that for my favorite episode. My favorite episode was our first episode in this studio. Yeah. Thanks a lot, door tender. A hole in the roof. But this bottle's twice as big
Yeah.
for 2 years as it was for our first episode for 1 year. So
Oh yeah, we could
I don't know how thoughtful they are, but that is pretty amazing.
Brant knows what he's doing.
Brant. Who's Brant? That's Brian.
That's it.
It's a callback.
Have you not been listening?
callback.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't listening. But my favorite episode by far was when we walked in and this was pre-green screen, this table here, when we were in that room. And we had the Oh Dear thing on the TV and Ryan and Riley were setting up cameras and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I know Ryan and Kevin for my whole life and I know Ted a little bit. And like, he's got skills, but what the fuck are we doing here? And that was when I was like, wow, this is really cool. And we have a podcast and we've interviewed cool people and I think we can make something of this. So the fact that we've done 32 episodes is still insane to me.
So I'll piggyback off that of just kind of ridiculous. And you mentioned it when we went to interview Brandon Sutter. But if you step back and think, like, we spent an afternoon where we went and sat on Sea-Doos that never went in the water. They sat on these like dry docks and we filmed these stupid videos of us on these things. And then we just took a pontoon boat and it was like we said, it was a shitty day. It was like +10 and like windy and maybe rainy. And we just drove this boat across Sylvan Lake and picked up an NHL player and then interviewed him on this boat. And then did someone jump off? Did we all jump off?
Well, Remember we filmed like a door tender ad because we did and we had
I totally, I get it,
I'll never forget. Lund was pretending to drown. And you get Brandon Sutter goes, don't tell him we're done filming.
Let him drown.
So committed to it.
And then we dropped the NHL player back off at his house and then we drove the boat back across the lake and we went home and like it was very ridiculous what we did, but it turned out great. And I think that's just a credit to all of us and to you, Ted, for editing abilities and all that. But that was something I never thought I'd do in my life.
And we probably made that company millions from that promotion. So like we've done a lot of good here. Like even though we're ending it, like we've done a lot of good for the community. And I'd like a couple kickbacks for those companies that have done really well.
We've got some.
I think the kickbacks are sitting on these flats of beer.
But going back to the boat, and that's a testament too to just how lucky we are to get paired up with Ryan and Riley, right? And Brennan coming on board with Bose as our presenting sponsor because they were the heroes of that day. Recording, that's $10. So just keep going, Dustin. We don't have enough film to worry about. See, this is exactly why for 31 episodes I was on you guys about drinking because
I thought behind my
don't
back
like-
you wouldn't hear it.
no, I don't like who you become when you drink.
I think I'm cooler.
Like who you become when he drinks.
That shut me the hell up. But really, going on the boat, they brought all their gear on the boat. Ryan did like a mobile recording basically for us right in the middle of the lake. Was incredible. So I don't know if I have a favorite episode. The one, like our Halloween episode, was my favorite only because the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life was Mike Dempster and Johnny Lee for the teaser video we did, pretending to be those Martians and just shuffling across the stage going, yip, 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 yip.
When you had posted that video the other day on our Instagram again, and I was howling at my desk at work laughing at that.
You can make people do anything in front of a green screen.
And
Anything.
you posted so you posted the Sesame Street one, obviously for Halloween, but then you posted the non-edited one where they're just cruising across the green
Dustin,
screen.
I know what I posted.
Why you gotta be so mean, Ted?
Yeah, I got what you're saying, Dustin.
Thanks, Lundy.
But there's a lot of memorable. I think there's just a lot of episodes. The more and more we got into this too, where it's like I've had to cut more and more just because we get a little off the rails, but we just laugh more and more too. I think the more we get comfortable doing this, but I have to pick the Halloween one. And when you and Walsh had to wear those like Statler and Waldorf masks, it still haunts my dreams in that tiny room there. And we're wearing the Bert and Ernie heads and
Ted was wet once again.
yeah, that's another callback to episode 31. Don't forget we did 2 different episodes tonight.
That came out weeks ago, man.
Yeah, did come out weeks ago.
They're going to remember you being wet.
Yeah, it's unforgettable. So this is actually a really good question. This is kind of different from like a specific moment, but Amy wants to know like the most memorable thing about doing the podcast. And I'll start actually, so I don't get mine taken. It was the firefighter calendar launch night because we've gotten really I didn't even see that, but you can build off of this. Dustin, he's pointing to a piece of paper right now where he wrote down his answer. But the thing that it was for me, like, it was obviously a lot of fun. We had so much fun shooting the photos with Griff and Steven. But just for us, you guys had gotten really good at the podcast thing. I think we were in a good rhythm by then seeing all of us, like, that was the first time we'd hosted anything together live. We lost a light. I just got way better looking. That's perfect. But that's the first time we ever hosted anything together, and everyone crushed it. Like, it was so much fun. Everyone enjoyed themselves. And it was just kind of, again, that moment where you feel like you take another step and it's like, holy shit, everything we've been doing now translating to like a live performance essentially. And that's probably one of my most memorable moments.
For me, it was successfully executing the deer hunt. The one year we did it. It was a lot of work, but it was totally worth it. And that was for me the moment where I realized we had gone to a different level because of the involvement from the community, not just from the sponsors, but from the number of teams. Like, we were like, we're going to get 20 teams on this. And we had over 100?
Yeah, I think 108 or 111.
Yeah, like that was crazy. And so that was a really busy week because we realized that, people actually care if these clues go missing. Yeah. And so we were all like running out during the day, replacing clues.
Yeah, there's thieves.
We'd go out every night
stealing our clue. Like
we were going every night making sure that the clues were still there, but it wasn't like it wasn't work. It was like people are counting on this.
It was work, trust me.
Yeah, it was, but it was all worth it at the end. So for me, it was really cool at the end because I was sitting at the very end of the last clue, like guarding this box that was literally buried in the ground of
the
like
treasure.
$1,000 worth of gift cards or whatever it was. And there was this blind corner, and that's the only way people would come from. And so I was sitting there having a beer, sitting by myself in the forest in Kin Canyon or wherever I was.
As you do many days.
Yeah, it was very normal.
In your spot.
I was
hoping the Red Deer rocket will come back.
And out of I couldn't see the people, but I could hear them because we had a sign like down in this blind corner that I couldn't see, and it was basically go left or right. And these people, and it didn't have anything to do with O'Deer. It was like some weird symbol that we had found. And these people were like, what does that mean? And I heard the girl go, this might be for that O'Deer deer hunt that's going on this weekend. And sure as shit, they come walking around the corner right towards me, and they see me, and I had my phone out because I was like, are these people, like, we wanted to videotape the finding of the treasure, and these people were like, are you filming wildlife? As I'm sitting there drinking my beer like this, and
you say yes.
Yeah.
Nope, just people.
Well, no. So I said, you guys are right. Like, this is the O'Deer thing. They clearly weren't part of it, but they had heard about it, which to me was just really cool. And then seeing the first team come running through the bush and almost falling in the hole on the treasure.
We could have got sued. We could have lost.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, we didn't have any insurance
A
coverage.
couple like steep hills. And people went so hard. I remember I was at Bower Ponds this one girl got out of her car while it was moving. Like she was in the passenger, just face pancaked in the parking lot.
Was she driving?
No. Passenger side, yeah.
Okay.
I did. Yeah. But, and she just, instead of like worrying about getting here, she's like, are we too late? Like, do we have, is the clue still here? So yeah, people got intense for that. Dustin's sisters, especially. I've told this story before, but I made a joke to them. They're like, asked, when do we get the info about the final day tomorrow? I said, well, you guys cheated, so you're disqualified. And you know, like when you see the 3 dots when someone's texting, well, that went on for like many minutes. And I was like, I finally, I'm like, no, before they could, I'm just kidding. Like, you're not disqualified. But that was pretty cool. You guys did a great job coming up with that and getting all the people involved. And yeah, definitely a highlight of the podcast.
I think that's something we can do if we put the effort in. I think it's something we can do every year.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the ways we stay involved, right?
Yeah.
Without doing the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, we can get more. We can make it bigger and more creative. We can make it harder. I don't want to make it easier. I think the harder it is, the better. The more fun people have.
That's that's for a lot of things.
The harder it is.
Yeah.
I've heard.
That was a dick joke.
Yeah.
Sex. Just in case, yeah. Thank you, Mike, for laughing at my joke. Hey, how's our video doing? Are we still rolling?
We're doing great.
Okay, perfect.
One of my most memorable moments was actually in the rage room. That I think we were the first people, or one of the first people to go in the rage room.
Yeah,
Just smile and nod.
really.
We were one of the first people to get videotaped in the rage room where we shared the recording. How about that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that Vincent.
Yeah, how about that? And like I just had so much fun smashing shit in there. I've never done anything like that. I would recommend it to anybody that builds up rage during the week and just has to release it at the end of the week.
We should record our podcast there and just let me go downstairs right after.
We should record it in there, like obviously like protected while someone's smashing shit.
Okay.
Like with,
Yeah, see,
with
That's
like,
episode 33.
Yeah,
I
with
promise
goggles
you,
on.
episode 33, we'll do that.
when Erin records her first podcast,
Yeah.
she can go there and like
For
give
anyone
therapy to
just
someone.
joining us, still looking for a sponsor for the Coworker Aaron spin-off podcast. So
I'm looking at literally everyone in this room. Griff, sponsor my podcast. He said he'd love to sponsor the podcast.
yeah, that's what I heard too.
So my favorite part of the podcast in its entirety was Euro deer hunt. I wasn't a part of it. I was camping and you guys did everything involved with it. But the week leading up, we did the Troubled Tea Cask Night at Cilantro and Chive. And it was, so we did the Saskatoon, we did the Mojito, we did the Strawberry Daiquiri
Tropical.
and the Tropical Troubled Teas. And I remember meeting some of the teams actually during the week that night. Me and Walsh had to scooter because it was a tough night. I had a that's $100 fine. Ted,
It's my alarm.
Aaron has to do
push-ups.
You do push-ups at 9:06.
All right.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
That's how many push-ups do you have to do?
30.
Go
ahead, Erin.
Sorry. I have to, if I haven't done them already, I
Aaron.
have to.
Do them now.
She's a liar.
Let's see it.
That's it.
do it on the table.
We'll have video proof that you did it.
Okay. All right. We'll get to it. Sorry.
Oh yeah, my
Sorry.
God. I was just in the best talk I ever had.
Yes.
Okay, what was I talking about?
Hey, and Andrew's here. Hey.
So I would have liked
Andrew's first podcast. Just,
fuck.
that guy doesn't get it. Fuck.
But my actual favorite podcast
Most of the-
because I can't remember what I was talking
Yeah.
about before.
The first stuff, you're just like lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The O'Deer Burger.
Oh, so good.
And I mean, Lundy, you were the creator of the O'Deer Burger. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I won't take much credit for that because I think you were the catalyst behind it. But to have a burger of the month,
Yeah, like so soon too.
Like Riley, what were you thinking?
yeah, that's insane.
Riley was
Yeah, see-
saying like these guys eat burgers.
Yeah.
We're gonna sell
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
That was a
Look at-
huge deal for me until a fucking mascot got to do it a couple months later. Then I was like, oh, wait. Okay.
I thought that was the coolest moment our podcast has had to be on a menu in a
Oh, say it. Say it.
such as a successful business in Red Deer and a community catalyst, as we talked about in episode 31. To be part of something like that is something that I'll always remember.
Now we'll go to a more serious one. I think this is a great question, though. Baxtosaurus Rex on Instagram. That's not the serious part. What did you learn most about yourself during your journey with the podcast?
Well, I was going to say confidence in public speaking until you fucking said that.
I felt comfortable in my body.
Oh, that's really nice.
Thank you.
I like that.
Me too.
Beat that, Aaron.
Me too.
Well, I
Maybe you learned how to get a haircut.
I did not actually. I've had one haircut since we did this podcast.
Oh, no, really?
Yes. What do you mean, really? Yes.
Oh, no. Digging myself a hole.
No, I think that I had taken a pretty hard line on no new friends for a long time, and doing this actually like really made me realize how lucky I was to be in Red Deer and how many great people that you all were connected with. And I know we've talked a lot about all the amazing people in Red Deer, and it has reminded me that there are incredible people out there and that there's no time in your life that you shouldn't be looking to bring more people into your life. So
Holy smokes,
Yeah,
Lon.
beat that, Walsh.
Yeah, that was the kind of answers I was looking for.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
you're all my friends now.
Well, I didn't learn anything. So I didn't learn anything, I don't think.
Yeah, you got dumber. You definitely got dumber as a podcast.
But I think that we, as a group, just kind of proved that, and I've heard this comment since we've done all this stuff, that at the end of the day, and it's not just the five of us, but it's a bigger group of friends and the Chubbs guys and stuff, but we get shit done, and it's always for the right reasons. Like, truthfully, we're doing this because we just want people to laugh, but it's grown into so much more than that, of us being able to raise money and raise awareness for good causes. And a lot of that is due to the people in this room that support those good causes and drive those good causes. But you know what? We've also been able to do a lot ourselves. And I think we always knew, you know, I would talk to Ted, like, I think early days or even before the podcast, so like, we have something with us for. Like, I don't know what it is. It's a business or it's something. I know,
Like,
but
I
this is
can't-
early days.
Aaron wasn't in the
I didn't
picture
even
yet.
know Aaron.
I came in late.
But, you know, I'm really proud of that. We've been able to follow through and just create some good in sometimes not a such good world. So,
All right, I think building on what Walsh said, one thing I've learned, again, starting with, you know, my immediate reaction to Dustin saying, let's start a podcast. It's, you know, especially, I think we learned this going through COVID and like how quickly life can change, but it's like, shoot your shot. Honestly, you know, we really went for it. I did put a lot of time and effort, honestly, in the beginning of this, and it's paid off through the experiences. Obviously, I got a job out of it, but too, I think we all, and we do this all the time, sit around, oh, we should do this. Oh, we should do that. Let's do, like, just go out and do it, right? Like, I hope we see someone else maybe not like starting a podcast too here in Red Deer, or do something similar, just something that you think maybe you won't do and maybe it won't work, but just do it. We had no idea how it was going to go, and it went great for us. And 2 years later, we're sitting here being able to honestly say goodbye to like hundreds of listeners, which is pretty amazing.
So, Teddy, you say shoot your shot. As you pan around this room, I know the camera's not going to move,
But just
but
imagine,
as
just
we look
imagine.
around this room right now,
Yeah.
how many people in this room shot their shot?
Okay.
Mike
one's
started
raised their
another
hand.
shop. Vincent started Saks Thrift Ave downtown. Riley opened up Cilantro and Chive in Red Deer after successfully opening that in Lacombe. These boys from Door Tender have expanded into Edmonton.
Troy and Bran.
Brant.
Brant.
Yeah,
Brant.
The name I didn't know before. But like, how cool is that? Like,
Griff married me.
Well, yeah. Well,
Didn't you shoot your shot to get Griff though?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
But
Okay, there's
yeah,
another
see, there we
example.
go. Yeah.
but
he
honestly,
took a real risk by marrying
Yeah.
me.
there's a lot of risks in this room tonight.
Yeah,
And-
Andrew's still trying to sell a house. Keep shooting. Hey, man, keep shooting.
Keep reaching for that rainbow, man. Yeah.
But how cool is that? As you speak to that, I look around the room and see how many risks that were taken across this room that have invested money and time into our podcast, taking a risk. That's actually pretty cool, full circle to look at.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was really nice.
Yeah.
And I think
I'm so
speaking
proud of
Ted-
you, Morsey.
Well, careful. No, I think that's a lot of nice. I think we learned a lot too. Like I could go on personally for 800 different things. I hope I got a little easier to be around as this podcast went on. And I'm not gonna all the way. Like I'm not gonna bend all the way because there's certain things that make it harder on me. But the other thing I learned too is like for this podcast, when to say like enough is enough. Honestly, because you know what, it was just this podcast was becoming a little too much, and sometimes it's hard to pull away, and that's one of the hardest things I've had to learn is just when to say no.
You did say enough is enough once in the studio room there when you and Lundy kind of came to blows there.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Not physically.
Yeah, I looked
It was
at
just-
Emotionally.
It was just a boiling point, and that it happens. Like friends working with friends, doing stuff like this, it's gonna happen. And that's the other thing I appreciate, though. Honestly, that we can get to that point, and that's why this worked too. Right? Is we have pretty short memories too, and sometimes it's nice to be able to have friends where you can kind of say to each other like, "Hey, fuck off." And it doesn't, right? And then you fuck back on right away. Like it doesn't last. So.
I agreed with the first time. I don't know. Yeah.
It was nice to go home and knowing I wasn't the guy to fuck off on. Does that make sense?
I think
Your
what
public
they're trying,
speaking
I
has
think
come
what
a
they're
long
trying
way,
to
yeah.
say is that we could be blunt about
Yes.
our feelings and emotions. There's no fucking on or fucking off. We got to a point where we told it how it was. And no fucking. There's no
But
fucking.
then things did get better. Like things were a lot smoother after that. So
The fucking was back on.
yeah, it was way back on. Yeah. Aren't we going to miss this? Yeah. I do have like a specific question for each of you, starting with you, Lundy. I don't know the answer to this either.
Either do I.
How many different deer calls and sound effects in general do you think you've made over the last 2 years?
Okay.
Like total
so-
times you've had to make a sound effect.
Deer calls. I bet you I've made 20 different deer calls.
I don't know, Lund. Can you make a deer call? No.
That was a bird.
Yeah, that was one of the worst ones. that
That
was
sounded like a human being.
yeah, that was like a mix of that was like Goofy like falling down the stairs almost.
Oh, Goofy goes hunting too.
Deer. 20 unique deer
Can you
calls.
give us 3 different unique ones right now?
I
Come on.
Well,
You gave us a nice one earlier. Give us another one.
let me finish the question.
Okay.
Sound effects. I bet you I've made over 60 different sound effects on this podcast.
This is my new favorite sound effect. We might as well move into a catch-up segment now and just go in to Shooting the Breeze.
Bang, 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 bang. Bang, bang. Bang, 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 bang.
That's Shooting the Breeze.
Bang, 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 bang.
Into Shooting the Breeze.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. October 19th, 2022. Oh, sorry, I'll travel back in time now. 5 minutes ago. 1 minute ago.
That was Shooting the Breeze.
Bang, 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 bang.
I think
Oh,
it's-
yeah,
I think it's
more.
probably fair.
Oh, more, yeah. You did say at least.
Give us
Yeah.
a couple deer calls.
And then, like, I've never been deer hunting or anything, so I don't.
Yeah.
And then,
Sounded like Kermit the Frog having sex.
I don't know, maybe deer into that. I don't know. And then,
I did not like
Bunch
that
of
one.
Muppet sound effects.
I didn't like that.
Oh, and
So-
hopefully I have time to dub in like all of your deer calls
you
right
could-
now.
yeah. Okay. I was gonna say that exact thing.
Yeah. Hopefully I had time. We'll see. That was amazing. Thank you for that. Who's next here? Dustin, How many times, this answer is not very many, the first part. How many times do you think we actually called you the dumb guy on this podcast versus how many times you called yourself the dumb guy and kind of showed it?
5 and 20.
Yeah,
Is that close?
probably, yeah.
How did I get labeled as the dumb guy on this podcast?
It's the truth. It's like I'm the short guy. It's just fact.
You're not even the dumb guy. You're just not the smart guy.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I was just wondering if there was a moment in time where I became him or if it's just me.
Oh.
And I met Lundy in junior high, grade 7. And we weren't super good friends, more colleagues. Or not colleagues. What's the word I'm looking for?
No colleagues.
Classmates
Colleagues
works.
makes sense.
Yeah. Let's do a 30-minute diameter?
No.
Radius. But I'm going to say the Capri Hotel.
Do you think that Red Deer had the tallest hotel? Is that your actual answer?
All right, first word. Definitely. As in, Dustin is definitely going to have trouble with this spelling bee.
Definitely. DEFAPRIV. God, these vowels all throw me for a loop. A.
Embarrassment.
EMBARASS. What? Oh, man. It wasn't a vowel this time.
Guess all letters really get you.
Well, yeah. Story of my life.
All right, last word. Indispensable.
INDE. Oh my God, you guys made this so hard.
Tom has 24 $2 coins. He gives 1/4 of them to Dustin. How much money does Dustin now have?
$12.
$36. What was the question?
What is the slogan or nickname, I'm not going to tell you which, for Grand Prairie?
The grand piano.
Here with the man who proves light is faster than sound because he seems bright until he speaks, Dustin Moore. How's it going?
Oh, you guys tried to rig it in Lundy's favor with the spelling bee and the grade 5 test, knowing that I was a 55 average in high school and he was on the honor roll. I get it. Hope you got a big enough trunk because I'm going to put my bike in it.
Well said. Good job.
Warren Sinclair, LLP, legal law practice.
Is that what you think it means?
Does it not?
No.
Oh, what?
It's limited liability partnership.
Oh, well, I learned something today.
At least what you said made sense.
Yeah, I thought it made sense.
You learned what it stands for, but you don't know what it means.
No, I would have said rheumatoid arthritis.
That's not a muscle. That's a condition.
Oh, oh yeah.
Yeah. So
She used a lot of big words there.
curated and yeah, it was, yeah. An emotion you feel at Christmas.
See, this is where I said Holly.
No. Explain to me what the feeling holly is.
Christmas.
Something that will get you on the naughty list.
I said hatching eggs early, like killing the chickens.
No. What in the world? Hatching eggs early.
So you're saying making eggs is
No,
going to get you on the
killing the chickens.
Well,
kidding me?
Where are you from? Where are you killing chickens?
Is that what you guys do at Christmas?
If you got,
Hatching eggs early.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'll take the X.
I present to you the stupidest thing ever said on this podcast.
No, we said way dumber.
But you know me, Kevin, and Ryan pretty good and grew up with us idiotic behavior. And for you to,
That was the worst sentence I ever heard.
whatever.
You grew up with us idiotic behavior.
Yeah, I got confused halfway through. I said his most famous painting, the Mona Lisa.
You think Mozart painted the Mona Lisa?
So Eve, let me just correct what Dustin said. It's a not-for-profit, Dustin.
Am I saying non?
Yeah. So
I work in that business.
yeah, you said not. But hey, that's why we do a podcast and not live
I'm
radio.
nervous. I'm nervous here tonight too, Ryan.
First time in your life you've ever been able to say you're better than average, hey?
Man, is that what I sound like? That's mean.
Yeah, you were a lot harder on yourself. Like,
Yeah.
we don't care.
It's
No,
CT.
there's all these times. Why does everyone call me the dumb guy on this pod? Nobody calls you
Yeah,
that.
you always call yourself the dumb guy.
Yeah, as deserved. What was that word you said earlier? Papelbon?
Palpable.
Pamplemousse.
What did you actually say?
Palpable.
Lund definition?
It means combustible.
I believe it means to be able to palp.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what it means.
Like I'm the dumb guy.
Well, no, yeah, okay. Walsh, how many short jokes do you think?
Oh,
And do you think anyone else made a short joke besides Ted?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I made the most. I won't like.
Like any joke Ted made about me was about being short.
And going over now to the host with the most booster seats, Kevin Walsh. How was your holidays? He's also the only person I know who buys his clothes at Build-A-Bear. Kevin Walsh, how's it going? You know what? I'm going to be nice. We make a lot of short jokes. Not doing it this time. Not getting the low-hanging fruit, because I'm going to leave that for him to get, and he doesn't need a step ladder. Hey, he's Red Deer's newest small business owner, and maybe Red Deer's smallest new business owner, Kevin Walsh. How are you?
Oh, real original, Ted.
Wow, you really took us on a roller coaster of emotion there. Well, 3 of the 4 of us, the one man who is not tall enough to ride that roller coaster, Kevin Walsh, how's it going?
Wow.
Red Deer's newest fashion icon for Cabbage Patch Kids, Kevin Walsh, how's it going? And now the most down-to-earth guy we know, or the closest down to the earth, Kevin Walsh, how's it going? A guy who still needs a step stool when he wants to help out in the kitchen, Kevin Walsh, how's it going? And unlike elementary school where you go off for summer vacation and all the kids come back a couple inches taller, that didn't happen, but still nice to see you again, Kevin Walsh.
Oh. And the funny thing is
it's your own fault.
that Lund is like half an inch taller than
Yeah.
me.
No, it's like 2.
No, 2
2
halves
inches.
of an inch, so 1 inch. Yeah.
I'm 4.5 inches taller than him.
Prove it.
Yeah. The inch
No
measurement is-
chance.
yeah.
4.5.
We'll measure later.
You're
And then we'll measure your height.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's got me on girth.
You're a Mike Pasman taller than him.
What?
4.5 inches.
Oh, okay.
What's
Yeah.
my question?
Oh, yeah.
Like half an inch.
No.
The thing is, well, the
How many
reason-
jokes?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
want me to answer the question?
It's got to be at least 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least 2 an episode? Yeah.
Yeah. And I only do it because Dustin makes short jokes about you and I
That's
want him
fine.
to think I'm cool. So I just kind of join in. Yeah. So Aaron, how many ad reads do you think you've done?
So we do what? 5 an episode. I have done 25 episodes.
Oh, I was gonna say 90 ad reads
Well,
would be my guess.
Probably more. Yeah. Probably 20. Yeah. 25, 20 to 25. Yeah.
yeah. So 125.
You're getting what you pay for with this. The Glad Game is brought to you by Gord's Smoke Shop. Ted vs. Walsh is brought to you by Travis Kletke, chartered professional accountant and partner at Swainson Alexander. The Glad Game is brought to you by Louis Corriveau of Warren Sinclair, LLP. What's Happening is brought to you by Corey Kloss of RBC Dominion Securities. The Glad Game is brought to you by DNA Plumbing and Heating. Community Corner is brought to you by the Black Falls Bulldogs. The Glad Game is brought to you by Beyond Insurance. This Red Deer Real Estate Update was brought to you by Andrew Russell and Associates with Remax Real Estate Central Alberta, the official realtor of the Oh Deer podcast. What's Happening is brought to you by Alberta European Motorworks and Alberta Asian Motorworks. Deer Call is brought to you by Cilantro and Chive in Lacombe and Red Deer. Shootin' the Breeze is brought to you by Hung Yuk Ukrainian Kitchen. The Oh Deer Showdown is brought to you by Saks Thrift Ave, home of Red Deer's only rage room.
And still no one's called?
Correct.
It was number 126 that was going to do it, and we just will never get there.
Damn it.
All right, so we've kind of gone down memory lane a bit, and who in our studio audience would like to join us first, just for like 5 minutes, and talk about their experience with Oh Deer? You know what?
Let's just call him. Let's
get Andrew up here first. I think.
Yeah, let's get Andrew.
And you can have my spot. I got to go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. First time at the table.
Yeah. But anyways, Andrew, you weren't able to make it for our last ever episode, a full episode 31. So fun to have you up here again because you became a really big part of this podcast. First, you were a big sponsor, gave us what we needed, honestly, to buy the equipment we needed and really get going. And then, as time went on, you're just a part of this podcast. So even when you first sponsored us, like, did you think you'd be here every time being a part of the episode and that, we'd still be here?
What were you thinking?
How does it feel to have bought your way in?
Yeah, way to go, Andrew.
I didn't want to say it.
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah,
I'm not
4.
sure where to start with that.
Did you see this going for 2 years and you being a part of it?
I don't know. I don't think that far ahead, Ted.
Great thing for a realtor. Yeah. I don't think about the future.
The one thing I listened back to some of these and I was like, I actually sound like I know what I'm talking about with the real estate market. And I was actually kind of impressed by myself with that, but I didn't really. Well, you're not doing it, Dustin.
I was pumping your tires.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. That was a Luongo joke. Now you're supposed to say I didn't know I was supposed to pump your tires.
Goalies, hey?
Oh.
Yeah,
fuck.
fucking weirdos.
Welcome to the 2010 playoffs.
Welcome to the worst interview of this episode. Oh my God.
I paid to be here. It's fine.
Started off low. Lund, you can come back now.
Yes.
No, I didn't really have any expectations in terms of where this would go. I mean, for me, it was just an excuse to come out and drink beer with my buddies. So I was just kind of happy to ride the train for as long as it was going to go.
Then, being a realtor, you're out in the community a lot. How's this, being on this podcast? Has it, changed the way you look at the community or getting out in the community in any way? Really, have you learned anything from being part of this podcast?
I would say it's opened my perspective to some of the stuff that goes on because I'm born and raised here, and sometimes you forget how much cool stuff is actually just sitting in your backyard. And I've got 3 young kids. As per tonight, I'm at hockey all the time. I don't have much of a life between work and my kids, so it was really cool exposure for just the stuff that's going on, a lot of the tourism Red Deer stuff, and then promoting kind of a lot of these local businesses that are around. I think it brought awareness to more of what's going on in Red Deer. And I've had people approach me, and even when we had announced that this was kind of going to be the last one, people that had said, wow, that's too bad. You guys have done a lot for the community. And I'm kind of sitting here going, wow, somebody actually listens to this. But no, it's been great. Red Deer needs something like this, right? And I think for sure, it benefited a lot of local people. And I think if nothing else, it reminded people that, there's more to the city sometimes than people think about. And it's easy to forget, when you're here all the time, when you're not out looking for stuff to do. So
welcome to the best interview of this podcast.
Yeah,
that was a great recovery. That's a great answer.
I got no questions.
I have a question. So when we fire back up RDTV and we offer you a job there, out of any role, on camera, off camera, what would you pick?
Just the tips.
I want to be Lund's agent.
Oh.
It's easy money.
Yeah.
Get that guy some laces first.
We'll negotiate it. We'll negotiate that.
Fucking winter, Lund.
Dustin, let's talk about other things that no one can see.
I don't give a shit. The audience laughed.
I've been thinking about that for 3 hours. Why is this guy? It's November. He has no laces.
And it looks like his jeans just turned directly into his shoes. And
And
they're all
Griff's
one
taking
thing.
a picture of him. So
Yeah, Griff, you're going to have to send us that so we can put it up. I have one more question, though, and because you did come late because you were at hockey, but we were just talking about the most memorable experience of being part of this podcast. Do you have one?
I have one for Andrew.
Was it being labeled a couch person
No,
for
and
20 episodes?
and coworker Aaron and Andrew became part of this podcast, which is really cool. And one of my favorite Andrew moments was when you actually weren't here and Andrew was on the couch and he was getting ready for his first ad read. And thanks a lot, Ked. Oh, he goes, this is a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah. You blew it before
How did I blow the name Ted?
And I'm pretty sure the first words out of your mouth were, "This guy sucks." Thanks for the support, Dustin.
So Andrew, welcome back. Now, your third stint.
It's great to be on the couch, kid.
This guy sucks. I thought you said you were going to be better in Strivon.
That was the first sentence.
Yeah. It's a tough name. Don't beat yourself up.
That was my favorite Andrew moment. But go ahead, Andrew. Tell your favorite moment after you sucked at ad reading.
I unfortunately, I didn't get to participate in anything kind of outside of the podcast because, again, 3 young kids playing competitive sports. But I was really impressed with the response you guys got back off of the deer hunt. I overheard people talking about that. Like, that was a big deal. Like, you guys really did a good job with that. And so, despite the fact that I wasn't there, I didn't get to participate in it. Kudos to you guys for making that happen, because I remember looking at that and being like, oh, this is going to be tiny, not really thinking that anybody would show up. And like, you guys had a huge turnout for that. So that's well done. So for me, like, not being part of it, obviously, but I think that absolutely was something pretty memorable that came from this.
All right. Well, Andrew, again, we've got a lot of people to get through here, but
and he's empty.
He's empty.
And he's empty.
There we go. That's perfect. Yeah, he's out of beer.
Do you have any last minute tips for us, homeowners or prospective homeowners?
Call Andrew.
Last minute, just the tips. I do have a good one. So this comes up a lot. I actually had somebody tell me they spent $20,000 replacing the windows in their almost new house because they were getting condensation in the wintertime. That is so wrong. I was like, you just wasted $20,000. And I can't believe the window people let you do this. But so if you're getting condensation buildup in your windows, if it's really cold outside, it's just normal. It's totally normal.
Yeah.
Right? So run your central exhaust fan, run the furnace fan to cycle fresh air into the house. I could not believe these people spent $20,000, and their windows were perfectly good. And I get this comment all the time. My windows are leaking. Make sure your blinds aren't all the way down. Let your windows breathe, especially when it gets to minus 30. Turn the humidity down in your house when it gets really cold. Save yourself $20,000. Okay, so that's a very valuable money-saving tip. If it's minus 40, there's going to be condensation in your windows. Just take a towel and wipe it up. When it warms up, it will go away.
Wow.
Manage your humidity, people. It's a big thing.
Aaron, you got one last ad read. That was just the tips.
That was a great final tip, though.
That's one that comes up a lot.
Yeah.
And people are like, my windows fog up all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's completely normal.
We live in Alberta.
Yeah.
It's completely normal. Don't replace your windows because of it. Public service announcement.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Andrew, we know you just came from coaching hockey. We'll let you get back on the couch just to relax, or wherever the hell you were sitting. I don't care. We'll let you get back over there. But we do want to say a sincere thank you, of course, for being such a huge partner of ours right off the hop, and then becoming really a member of this podcast. It started, you were coming, doing your just the tips and whatever. And as time went on, you're just a part of this podcast. So thank you so much for helping us get our start and then joining us too. Like, it's been an absolute pleasure. I know you and I didn't really know each other that well before the podcast, and I would dare to say that we've become pretty good friends. So thank you, at least for me. I know Kevin has something to say too, so go ahead.
That reminds me, this is something really cool where me and Dustin and Ryan, we grew up going to junior high, and we did with Andrew as well, and we've always been friends, and it's just a really cool way that just to come full circle of, we're now all in our mid 30s, and here we are, like a guy I've known forever is a good buddy, and he's, a sponsor on our podcast because he runs a successful business, and we're able to give him this opportunity, and he's also willing to take it, and probably a waste of money, but judging by how many people took us up on our moving offer, but
you can't put a price on friendship.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing is we've always been friends, and it's just it's just another excuse for us to get together and drink beers.
And we see him in the shower every Sunday too. Really. All four
Andrew,
of us.
Here's a tip: get blinds at your house. Yeah. All right, Andrew Russell, everybody. Yeah.
Hey!
So, I just want to say congrats on making it this far. I never thought you would. You guys actually legitimately did do a great job with this podcast, Ted. Congrats on all the work and the time and the editing, everything. You're definitely underappreciated, but I would say, it definitely went mostly noticed of all the work that you did. And I just want to say thanks for all the beers on a Friday night or a Thursday night or whatever. Well, yeah. So thanks, Door Tender, for all the beers, and thank you guys for a lot of laughs and a lot of good times.
All right, now thank Andrew Russell.
Hey. Just call him up.
Let's get the Door Tender guys up here. You both want to come? Just one of you.
We want both.
But now joined by Troy and Brian from Door Tender. Of course, it's still wild. This is the first time we're actually meeting Brian in person. I know, first of all, though, Brian, you lived across the country for a little while, didn't you?
Yeah, my wife's from Newfoundland and Labrador. So I was living there when we started Door Tender, and then while she was finishing up school. So we were, I was pseudo commuting, which was pretty rough, especially during COVID. But
and this is back in North Red Deer warehouse times too.
Yeah.
My, you were really roughing it.
Yeah.
We were sitting in a warehouse with pallets and
right in there.
sitting on lawn chairs,
Yeah.
checking Instagram. We're like, oh, some guys are doing a podcast.
Yeah. I remember Brian one time texted me at like 4:30 in the morning. I was like, was that an early morning or a late night? Like, what's going on? That's how I learned he was over out in Newfoundland. So that would have been like what, like 8 a.m. out there, something like that. Yeah.
Still pretty early.
Yeah, still pretty early. But again, so we kind of joined together when we were both just starting up. You guys have been around a little bit longer. But just talk about, first of all, again, now the door tender journey, because the last time we talked to you, Troy, was way like 25 episodes ago now. Things obviously going really well now, just a month or two into after launching in Edmonton?
Yeah, it was a different world when we started. Like, we were doing Zoom podcasts and we were trying to figure out this business. And we knew kind of at that point, college kids weren't really who was ordering from us. It was young people who I'm going to compliment
thank you.
here.
Thank you. Yeah.
Young people who were ordering from us. And we wanted to know, like, how could we reach them better? And then you guys started doing this, and it was a great way to kind of reach that young crowd. And we've got some great customers from the Oh Dear podcast, and it's allowed us to grow. So
You're so welcome, Troy.
Yeah. And, one of the things I'll talk about a little bit is, chatting with Brian for the first time tonight and just asking him how Edmonton's going, because you guys have expanded in Edmonton, and just talking about the completely different lifestyle that it is in Edmonton versus Red Deer versus. Like, a lot of people don't have cars. They're living in condos.
They love cars in Edmonton.
No, a lot of people live in downtown Edmonton without cars. They're resorting to LRTs. Just transportation is completely different in Edmonton. He was telling me about just the different clientele kind of and how they've expanded there. And maybe just expand on that a little bit for our listeners that maybe are in Edmonton. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Red Deer is just like, first of all, there's a lot of liquor stores here. And
does Red Deer still hold the record for liquor stores per capita? Like, I know we
used to.
We used to. I don't know if it's still a thing.
I mean, surely we're in the top. Surely we're a medalist.
Okay.
A medalist. I like that.
Yeah, no.
Podiums.
Yeah, Edmonton's been going like amazing. I mean, Red Deer's always going to be home. We probably share the same kind of sentiment that a lot of folks here in this room feel, that like Red Deer will like always be home for us. But Edmonton's great, right? You have folks who really pick up delivery quickly, right? We had to change a lot of habits in Red Deer, and that's like not easy. But then once people learn that, like, hey, listen, like this is the same price as liquor store. It's like cold as fuck out. Yeah, it sucks to go outside. Like, once you change
too drunk
habit,
to drive.
Yeah, right. That's another thing that's like.
Well, yes, I've been too drunk to drive before. I
are
think
too
everybody
drunk to
here
drive.
has been too drunk to drive before.
So yeah, I mean, Edmonton's great, right? Condensed city, a lot of students who don't have cars, so it's been going great. We're very privileged.
So one of my favorite door tenders, not songs, that's dumb.
One of you guys playing the hits tonight or what?
One of my favorite door tenders stories was when Ted ordered door tender to our house, and I think in the app he said, "Can you please walk up to an absolute banger of a song?"
Yeah.
And I don't know who. Maybe Ted, you remember who did it?
we know Coldegraph.
Coldegraph.
Yeah.
Yes,
So Cole, do you remember what song was playing?
Yeah, it was
John
John
Cena.
Cena's walking.
Oh,
Comes
yeah.
out, I watch him go into his trunk. He went home to get his WWE Championship belt. Walks up playing this song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, oh my god, what an experience! Like I would. Oh, I hope we tipped really well that night because it was worth it. But that's the first time anything's ever been delivered to me with that type of attitude. And has anyone ever requested something like that besides Ted? Because I would highly recommend it if you're listening. They will do it if you request walking up, like a walk up song. Oh my god, it's so worth it.
They call that the door tender difference.
Oh, God, I like.
Wow.
When you're at like however many orders these guys are at, I'm not going to name numbers, but
Yeah.
you get your own theme music. So
No way. Oh, that's awesome.
Like, you gotta love what you guys have done in Red Deer and now expanded to Edmonton. Do you guys have what does that take to sit around a room with the four of you and decide that you're going to expand to Edmonton? Number one, and then number two, where does it go from here?
And then C.
Calgary.
No, not C.
And then
we learned
C.
this earlier.
3.
I think that, I mean, much like you guys starting this, it's probably you guys sitting around a table, a couple too many vacations and coming up with ideas that maybe you shouldn't have. And then next thing you know, it's kind of working out and you keep running with it. So
Yeah, someone takes one of those ideas seriously,
That's right.
and then you're stuck in a podcast for 2 years.
very, very apt comparison.
Hey, well, you got out.
yeah.
Yeah, but these guys are making money.
Yeah, I know. That's where we went wrong. That's what
These guys put work in.
Oh
Yeah.
Like the thing was when we first came across you guys, we're like, we want to be involved. We want to market with them. Well, we don't have any money, but we've got a warehouse full of booze.
These guys look like
Let's give them some
degenerates.
drinks. I think
Yeah, these guys.
Dustin needs to work on his public speaking. So yeah, 2 for 1 here.
So is there any new city you guys want to penetrate going forward?
A good P word.
Okay.
The P word,
Ryan, where are we penetrating next?
Now you already penetrated Edmonton from the rear, so now you can go in front ways to Calgary.
Yeah.
That was a double sex joke.
And please,
Took you a second.
please, in your answer, use the word penetrate.
Yeah. I mean, next on the list is Calgary.
Oh, okay.
And which is just exciting, right? There's just so much room to grow in Alberta. We're very lucky to work with like a lot of our startups and accelerators and stuff. And they're all like, we got to go to the US and in Ontario. And for us, we're like, man, there is just so much room in Alberta.
Yeah,
That's
so much room to
exciting.
grow sounds like Door Tender's next hit song, Lundy. Yeah, so much room to grow in Alberta. But really, we'll let you guys get back to just relaxing. But again, it's really cool to have you both on here and just going back again. I actually think I just like messaged you Door Tender through Instagram. So again, first of all, thank you guys for kind of taking that chance on us. I think it's been a really fun partnership and no word of a lie. Right away, when after one episode, we said, hey, we've got Door Tender as a sponsor. I think that kind of opened the eyes of some other people. Like, oh wow, maybe we should, right? Like, and then
like, booze, yeah.
and it added legitimacy to us like right away. And hopefully, Mike Dempster, you're not here. You didn't show up. You're not coming in.
Oh, answer it.
Yeah,
Answer it.
Beat it, Dempster. Are you here? Can I call you back?
Want a podcast right now?
Okay, hang up. What a dickhead, Dempster.
Take 2.
You know what? Great guy, that Dempster, though. Huge bush.
Yeah. Likes red wine.
But yeah, going back again, guys, like what made you really make that decision? Hey, let's see where it goes with these guys. I guess at the end of the day, the most you're out is a couple things of booze, right? So,
To be honest, like we had a lot of empathy for you guys. I think we had a really similar trajectory. We had just as little idea what we were doing as I suspect you guys did.
That's very fair.
Right?
That's
We had
very
just so
fair.
much empathy. And so we're like, listen, they're solving a problem in Red Deer. Like I want to reach this demographic and I want them to tell our story and we want to promote them. And so it was great.
I'm not gonna lie, that's one of the coolest things I've heard on this podcast. So
more than the word palpable.
Well,
well, again, Troy, Brian, and everyone at Door Tender, like, thank you so much again. You will always be our first ever sponsor. You never forget your first, right? And you know what? We're ending. You guys are just skyrocketing right now. So we're still going to work together. We want to do some videos, some fun stuff around the community. But thanks for being here tonight again. And I appreciate you hopping on here. And now you guys are done. You can enjoy the rest of the night.
All right, have a beer, guys.
Thanks so much.
Take 5.
So we're here with Mike Pasman, Alberta Asian Motorworks, Alberta European Motorworks, Future.
Antarctica Motorworks, or Africa Motorworks.
Well, I mean,
Up to you. What's
we're,
the Africa?
we're really grasping
continent?
at straws as far as like the market there. So
Yeah,
it's
I know.
gonna
I
be
know.
pretty tough to sell.
I know. I've been harping on you for the last few episodes we've done with this, but after these first two really take off, I'm thinking Australia Motorworks is next, and then Africa.
Okay, well, I'll keep it in mind, and when those things happen, Lundy,
I get a
I'll
cut.
be sure to
I
give
get
you
a cut?
Absolutely.
But pretty cool for me, Kev, and Ryan. Mike, we went to high school together. I know, looking back at the podcast interview that we had together, we had chatted about it, but we did go to high school together. And
We did.
Remember?
Just so everybody knows, we went to high school together. Me, Dusty,
I say that
Lundy,
twice?
and Walsh all went to high school together, just so you guys didn't know.
but like, why the Oh Dear podcast? I guess how did you hear about us?
Honestly, I had heard like 1 or 2 episodes, and then on your guys' Instagram popped up like, hey, we're looking for sponsorships and people to come on. And I was like, you know what? I am always preaching how important it is to support local and keep local businesses in business, for a double entendre there. But like, it's so important to make sure that we support local and keep our local businesses going. And I felt like what you guys were doing was exactly that. You were promoting local business, making sure that everybody's aware of what was going on in the community, And especially with Alberta Asian Motorworks at the time, we were open for 6 months. And all of a sudden the government was like, hi, we're actually going to shut down the world. And we were,
Hello.
right. But like we were stressed. And I was like, okay, well, what's going to be a good way for us to like get our voice out? And I looked at you guys and I went, well, there's 12 listeners to this podcast. So this has got to be a great way to, get our
Low
voice
risk,
out there.
low reward, baby.
Absolutely. That's how I gamble at the casino,
Baccarat. You're a baccarat guy, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. And I figured because I knew you guys, it was going to be an easy chat, an easy conversation. Like it was going to be me sitting with a bunch of awkward people going, fuck, what are we going to talk about? This is weird.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Lund going, does your car do this?
Mike, do you still get people that come to you that don't know what's wrong with their vehicle, and so they make the sound with their mouth?
Oh, buddy.
Or like,
Can you give us an example, Lund?
Well, like, every time I hit my brakes, they go, or every time I turn the vehicle on, it goes,
Yeah, 100%.
You might have cartoon characters in your vehicle.
It's so true, though.
I don't know much about cars, but I know the sounds they make. But Mike, in all honesty, you were our target market when you're looking for sponsors because you're a Red Deer guy. You
Sucker.
Real sucker to give us money.
Started a business and just recently started a second business. So you were like perfect for what we were hoping to promote. So I think the relationship there, I don't know if you've actually gotten any new business from appearing. Hopefully someone showed up saying, oh, hey, I heard you on the podcast. But if not, I mean, at least you had a good time, right?
You know what, Lundy, I will say, like, there was definitely a lot of people that mentioned that they heard me on the podcast, not necessarily showed up at the shop, which is totally fine. But it just made me aware that people were listening and they were absorbing the content that you guys were putting out there. And I think that was, for me, the most important thing is like, we're being more well known around the community. And I think as a new business, even though we're attached to the European shop, we've been around for 20 years at the European shop, it was still like trying to promote our second business using a platform that honestly to Red Deer was so new to the Red Deer community. And I think you guys did such a good job with it. So honestly, the fact that we're here tonight and the fact that we're, recording the last episode, that's actually kind of sad, honestly. Like for a guy that was only here for one night, I had a hell of a time. It was a lot of fun, even though fucking Teddy left me outside for like 20 minutes, freezing my ass off. Hey, just call me when you get here. I called 7 times instead of just sitting in my car waiting for him to be like, hey, bro, I'm at the front door. I stood outside with 2 flasks of beer in my hand.
I didn't hear this before.
Oh yeah,
but I believe it.
Yeah. And you know what? I should have just texted Kevin and been like, "Hey, buddy, I'm at the front door." And Kevin was like, "Okay, I'll come get you." Instead, it was Teddy. Guy didn't know at all.
He was testing you. Your new sponsor.
Yeah. Let's see how far we can push this guy.
See how much he wants this.
Let's haze him.
Okay, so I have a question.
Good one, Captain.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, you're the idiot now, bud.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm so dumb. So I'm a customer of your shop, and I was sitting there when my vehicle's getting serviced, and I look over on the wall, and you can see into the mechanic shop. And fuck if I don't see a shirtless Lund and a shirtless Dustin and a firefighter picture right on the wall, and all our signatures are on there. And I'm just curious, how many comments / questions do you get?
Definitely had a few.
Yeah.
But honestly, though, it's actually kind of remarkable how many people look at it and then just kind of drift it to the back of their brain and go, did I actually just say that? And then carry on. But you know what? That picture, I need to get a frame for it because it is going to stay there forever because 10 out of 10, it is. We've got some good photos in the front office of my shop, but that is hands down the best photo we have, and that bitch is going to be a collector one day.
That's our legacy, that's our legacy, boys and girls.
So we're getting the nod from Teddy here.
Yeah,
I just want to say one more quick thing. You guys have done, like I said, a remarkable job. I appreciate what you've done for the community of Red Deer. It's still really upsetting to see that you guys are quitting this, but I do understand why. However, I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate all the laughs. And I look forward to, maybe next year when you guys are like, fuck it, let's do a reboot. And they call me up and go, Mike, let's be assholes together again just for another hour.
Hey, Mike, you said that absolutely perfectly. And we so appreciate your sponsorship of the podcast. We had a ton of fun in that studio. We're out here now on the green screen, but when we had you on, we were in the studio.
Which was fun.
And we had the Polar Park Ice, which you were part of at the time. And what a blast going down memory lane of knowing each other in high school, which I mentioned before, I know. But if you do have a car that's in need, reach out to Mike. He's such a good community guy, local guy, and has been a big supporter of this podcast. And, when we do the reboot, when we do the Tom Brady and we unretire next year.
If you say do one more time.
Well, when we do that, we'll have you back, Mike, because you were a great guest and a great supporter of the podcast. So really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
All right, well, that was actually a nice little break for me. Again, just seeing after, hey, Mike Dempster, don't show up an hour and a half late and interrupt our podcast, please.
Oh, he's angry.
Yeah, you're here, you're a studio audience, so be a studio audience, please. Yeah.
Yeah, and don't show up without a toilet.
Hey, let's have a round of applause for the Lacombe Senior AA Generals, everybody. Yeah. No, great job, Dustin. You guys, again, after 30 episodes, seeing, I could just step away and watch, even if it was for 10 minutes, was a lot of fun. Now, Erin's favorite person from her favorite place, Vincent from Saks Thrift Ave. Thanks for coming back again. One of our more recent guests, actually. But thanks for hanging out tonight. And how are things down on Thrift Avenue?
Hey, it's been good. We're contemplating a move just to try and put together a really nice store. Things have been going great. We saw good growth over the past year. And, I will give you guys credit. Literally in the first week after we came on board with you guys, we had someone come in and spend the equivalent to every cent that I invested.
Oh, that's
wow.
Hey, broke even. Hey.
Was it Erin?
And they bought a turntable, and then they bought some records, and then they came to the rage room, and then they came back to the rage room with kids and everything. So I was just like, wow, that's exactly pretty much done.
Wow.
So what's
one person?
What's our cut, Vincent? How much do we get?
You got to go to the
Our
rage
time in the rage room, yeah.
I took the risk, guys. I took the risk.
All right, that's
on
fair.
4 buffoons and then a lovely lady. So
He's still waiting for that second customer to come in from the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, if it's one and done, that's all we needed, right? Like we thought this podcast.
Hey, Lundy.
Yeah.
One and done.
Yeah. Hey, Vince, I got a question for you.
First of all, Mike Dempster, shut up. Holy shit. Yeah. You could do it in a half hour. Yeah. Go in the hallway. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
So do people ask you hey, how's the thrift shop? Or do they say, hey, how's your sack?
Oh.
Does anyone call it sacks for short? How's sacks?
Oh yeah, sure. We'll call it.
But not how's your sack.
How's your sack?
That was that was one of the worst questions you've ever asked.
I swear to God, Ted says that same comment every single episode we do.
And you outdo yourself every single episode. I swear to God.
So how is your sack?
I have a real question.
All right.
So you've got all the vinyl, which is a huge deal. I saw on Instagram, are CDs coming back?
Surprisingly, we were very resistant to them. And then we went and got some. And as long as you're talking those alternative bands from the 90s that we all grew up with, maybe a bit of metal, a few others, what's really happened is the cost of vinyl keeps going up because, of course, it's an oil-based product. Transportation is up. They're heavy, everything else like that. So I've got 2 groups. One that's been avid music listeners all the years, bought records when no one wanted them for $1 or $2, and now they look at the price of a record and they're like, this is $40, $50, this is ridiculous. So they're kind of just, hey, I'll buy the CD instead. And then the other group that we're seeing is the 25 and under crowd. First vehicle, they get in, they're like, connect my phone. What? There is no jack for my phone? What am I going to do? They put on the radio, they hear Ted's voice on the radio, they're just like, no, I need to listen to something else. And they drive immediately to the store, and they are literally taking as much as they can. Yeah. We post every week some new stuff coming in, and we allow people to put stuff on hold, so we give first dibs to whoever's on our social media. And literally of the 60 CDs that we put up there, upwards of 20 every week go on hold for them to come in and get them. So yeah, there is a little bit of a resurgence. And CD sales were actually up for the first time in, 17 years.
Wow.
Year over years. That's new CD sales. So maybe we will see.
See, that's crazy to me because new vehicles don't have CD players.
Yeah, but if you're
No,
18
but
years
like
old,
it's
you're not
funny
gonna
to
do
hear
it.
you talk about the younger generation because I think everyone in this room, I know we're all a little bit different age, but in general,
Well, you just went through puberty there.
Well,
so
yeah.
congratulations. Yeah.
but in general,
I can see the spike on the audio wave from here. Yeah.
in general, we all went through that CD phase and we all lived it firsthand where I remember putting the cassette in that had the cord
Yes, yeah.
that went out to your like MP3 player.
Yeah. Your iPod Nano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was also off-market
Yeah.
MP3 players.
Zune.
But it's kind of come full circle and it's very interesting to hear how, because for me as a mid-30s, I never really got the record craze and I still don't.
Come into the store. We will.
I know. And there's a different sound and I appreciate it different now, but I never saw that. So to see it come back to like CDs and go through records, and I'm not saying records is done because I think that's still a big market, but it's very interesting how everything's changed. And I will say, I still have a CD case full of burnt CDs from high school in my desk, and I listen to them every couple of years, and it's awesome.
If I were to burn some new CDs, like how much are you guys paying for that stuff? Or are you just taking donations?
No,
I just need some money. I just need some money, man.
You know what? You know what you can do? Dig up your old Walkman, bring it
yeah.
in. We'll pay some great money for that. I think I'm selling a Walkman a weekend right now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't have a Walkman because
Like the classic yellow Walkman.
Yeah.
That's the
Like the
ideal.
shock shock resistant.
Sport
Yeah.
is the cream of the crop. You know, they are going for like, depending on the model, $200 to $400.
I believe that.
What?
Yeah.
For a Walkman, like a set.
Walkman. Yes. And then as long as
There's
like
no
a
skipping,
Sony,
Ted.
there's
Don't
no-
worry about the skipping.
We're talking
No,
for
yeah.
any Sony, like in good working condition, $60 and up.
Oh my god!
Wow.
You know, we just sold a gorgeous one that $100 that the guy's just tickled pink. We got one where it's just missing
Wow.
the cover for the batteries, and because it's 4 batteries, it needs it to connect and everything.
Oh.
It's got 2 headphone jacks, and I got
Oh,
people like
what?
light it up. If you could ever get that, we want it.
Oh.
We want it. So
What
thank you, Stranger Things, for
Yeah.
having
Oh,
good
yeah.
old Kate
Yes.
Bush on there. You know, listening to the Walkman as much as the Walkman had made a comeback before that. Dig out your old Kate Bush tape. They've been
Yeah.
going as high as like $150 on,
Wow. Everyone's going to go
so-
through their parents' basement now after hearing this. Like, see what we can find. Yeah, it's
Yeah. What about
insane.
what about a Jock Jams 11 CD?
No, it's like they got so bad after 7.
Yeah,
Like,
But,
if
like,
you haven't
how
listened to the
much-
first 10, would you get
We're
Jock
not
Jams
even-
11?
We're not even selling Big Shiny
Ah.
tunes.
Oh,
so I don't
shoot.
think Jock Jams are
Okay.
there. So yeah.
Like you have excess Big Shiny tunes?
Yeah. You got to remember that was us.
was
the,
that?
the
Yeah.
25 and
Yeah.
unders don't know Big Shiny tunes,
Yeah.
you know? So, back when
You
we
might
actually
sell
had
one.
music
You might
videos
sell
on
one.
TV, right?
You might sell one right here.
Oh, it looks like he's
Yeah.
coming in. He's
Yeah.
coming in.
There you go, Vincent.
I just need to find a CD player.
Yeah.
You made, like I said,
I've got those two.
you made another sale now off this podcast again. So,
I'm number 2.
Can you imagine wearing that leather Looney Tunes jacket,
oh,
listening to your Discman,
That's a
walking
vibe.
downtown,
mm.
I think
fucking
we just
sex
gotta do
symbol?
that photo for
Yes.
nothing else,
Yeah.
just to post
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm in. Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, Vincent, thanks again for joining us tonight. Thanks for your support of the podcast. Great to hear, unlike for Andrew, that it actually paid off you partnering with us. We had a ton of fun at your store too, just looking through stuff. I found an incredible pair of pants, a great pink hat. I guess I should have worn for this interview. I even have it here, so that's pretty stupid. We might have to start all over again. But again, thank you so much for your support, and love what you're doing in downtown Red Deer with Saks Thrift Ave. So good luck, and good luck with the move.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having us.
All right, Riley.
Riley, it's so good to see you again. You're one of our first sponsors. You were our first on-site interview, which I already mentioned I had a blast at.
Riley K from Cilantro and Chive. We didn't intro him yet.
Well, I was getting to that, Ted.
Did we ever sponsor?
I don't think you...
Okay.
Did, Did he actually ever give us money, or was it just like good vibes?
No,
he
we gave
sent?
money and gift cards to give away.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
know he's
double
given
gift
us a lot of gift cards.
And
Yeah.
And
And some
paid.
beers.
The check cashed.
Shit.
So what I want to know, like Vincent, did you get a return on your investment from our podcast?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Didn't we sell a shit ton of burgers even through COVID though? I know that was for charity.
Yeah, we
but
sold a few burgers
Yeah.
for sure.
I have a real question, and I'm going to see if I can get a real answer out of you. Probably not, but how has life been different for you since meeting all of these idiots and just being a part of the podcast in so many ways? It's got to be like one positive.
Yeah, more
Or
gray
like
hair.
half of one.
Yeah.
Got him.
No, it's been great meeting you guys and having the chat and having the conversations and hitting up some Bulldogs games and tuning in on the morning news. It's been pretty good.
The morning weather report.
Yeah. Can't help but
Yeah,
notice
the
you
puns.
sponsor the afternoon show, but not the morning show. That is the most brilliant thing you've ever done.
Yeah, we want to divert our funds to where we're going to get a return on them.
But like sponsoring this podcast wasn't something, just getting to know you over the last couple of years, Riley. I talked about you on episode 31 of just being such a good community citizen. You've come from Lacombe where you built such a successful business in Cilantro and Chive. Me and my wife used to always drive out there. And, when we heard that Cilantro and Chive was coming to that corner right by the Centrium, I couldn't have been more thrilled, honestly. And I had never met you before, but I just knew, what you had done in the community in Lacombe. And yeah, thanks.
Dempster.
Fuck me.
My God.
Came in like a wreck.
This guy fucking sucks.
I mean, that one's not your fault. The door was kind of booby trapped.
We were getting all emotional.
I was just getting so nice.
Who else but Dempster? Yeah.
Fuck.
It's Red Deer Rustlers.
Oh, Dempster, I'm sure that was your fault.
All right. So, you built such a successful business. I said successful twice in a row. I'll try one
Yeah,
more
you
time.
didn't even stutter. It's great.
You built such.
Yeah, it's all good, dude. We'll cut it.
You built a great.
You built
place of
such
food is
a
so good.
successful. You built such a successful
It's the goodest
business.
I've ever been to.
Food good, restaurant good, Dustin like.
Yeah.
Do I just run back or is this where we're at tonight?
I hope you keep that up. But Riley, you built such an amazing business in Lacombe, and you brought that to Red Deer right on the corner there by the Centrium. Me and my wife,
in so much gas.
me and my wife were so excited when you brought it into town. You've done so much for the community in Lacombe, and you've since brought that to Red Deer. Like, what on earth were you thinking to give O'Deer a burger of the month?
I don't know, man. I still look back to the day that tuned into you guys and a couple of dudes sitting on a deck, a couple of lawn chairs in the middle of winter going, this is either going to be really good or this is going to be really
fair,
good.
Lund's deck looks way smaller when it's cold out. So if you saw it in the winter time, yeah.
You should have seen it this summer, Riley. You would have been,
Should you trim the bushes
Yeah.
around it?
oh, yeah. You would have been impressed.
Yeah.
Well, I still have yet to get an invite.
There was at one point there was like one girl on his deck. So
Yeah.
I've had two girls on
yeah,
there.
yeah.
At that time,
more
it-
when it's not covered too.
So Riley, I've been thinking about this for a while.
Why are we a sponsor?
So I saw you took my burger Caesar idea, which is brilliant, by the way. I've
Which
got
one was that?
I've got a new idea for you.
Oh, okay.
I noticed Cilantro doesn't have a drive-through, and you could do like drive-through poutine, drive-through ravioli, just like drive-through pickup.
Solid.
I know, like drive-through beer. I know you'd be taking door tenders business. You have the
Solid.
space for it. You have those garages on the patio.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well,
You get me.
when we opened in Lacombe, we had a couple of impromptu drive-throughs when the yeah. So we're a little jaded towards the drive-through, and our insurance can't go up anymore. So we're gonna just kind of hold off on that.
Did you do what Bose did? And hey, let's just put up some garage door. I'm still not certain they didn't pay someone to do that so they could put up those garage doors.
We had no cash machine inside when they drove in. They were a little senior. They were a little older.
Oh,
All right, so you're gonna think about it. I appreciate it. You've conquered Lacombe. You've conquered Red Deer. Is there another city that Cilantro and Chive is going to go into?
One day.
Okay,
Well,
so you've obviously thought
one
about it,
day.
but you're not sharing it right now.
you started in Pinoca though, right?
Yeah, way back in the day, back in 2012. And then we opened up in 2015 in Lacombe and 21?
It's earlier than that, hey?
No, 2021.
2021. Yeah, because it
In,
was we
in
were
Red Deer?
had just a couple months. We had just gotten started.
Yeah, you guys were just young.
We were
itty
April
bitties.
April 2021. We did the
Yeah.
burger. Yeah.
So we'll just get our feet under us after pandemic and go from there.
I guess my next question.
Yeah,
since,
get in there.
Since I beat Dustin to the punch, you guys, like in the Red Deer store, you had all like during the pandemic, you had all those doors kind of separating, like it created that really cool vibe. Is that something you guys are going to keep around, or
No, we burnt those bitches.
Wow. I heard this story, like what it took to get those.
Oh
those
man,
bitches.
yeah. No, we've still got the windows up. We've still got some doors up, but we've taken a few of those down. But,
Okay. Good riddance, hey?
Yeah. No, we burnt those out in the parking lot, but we still have the pennies on the
All right.
bar.
Yeah.
that-
How many pennies do you have?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Somebody
I got
was
figured.
supposed to
Yeah.
come and.
So that is something we're going to talk
Count
about
those?
after these interviews, because there's I think I'm probably the worst, but there's a few of us that have some debts to pay on this podcast, and that's probably what is now that we're done with the podcast. That's going to be the plan. So yeah, I do have to still come in and count the pennies
in the afternoon.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Now that you're not on the radio in the afternoon.
Yeah,
that's true.
Okay, you sponsor the morning show. I can't make a deal for something I have to do. That's fucking stupid of me to say. But no, I'll come count the pennies.
All right.
Love it.
So the morning show is going to be hosted at the Chive tomorrow morning.
Nice. On the weekend. That's awesome.
On the weekend,
Ted.
yeah, that's a whole different.
Yeah, live on location.
Yeah.
Why don't
Is
why
it
don't
really working anymore?
since O'Deer's done, why don't we do it live on location? 106.7. Count the pennies.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, I'm not the one you have to ask.
Oh,
Why
that'd be
don't we,
electric.
Ted?
Counting pennies.
Peter Michaels.
You're
Hear me.
a client.
Hear me now, Peter Michaels.
Yeah.
Is this thing on?
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't listen to this garbage.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has better
I don't
things
even
to
think he
do.
listens to my show either. I wouldn't. I mean, he does when he has to because it's his
Corporate
job. but
does,
yeah,
really.
yeah.
Okay, but actually, let's go back to Cilantro and Chive and the roots of what you do.
Yeah.
You've built a business on community. You've built a burger of the month, an ice cream sandwich of the month. The Lord knows however many things you do for the community, because there's a lot, which is amazing. You've built this amazing family in Central Alberta, and we're so lucky to have you here in Red Deer. And I don't know where I'm going with this, so thanks for having
I
us.
think you were going to ask him on it.
didn't have a question.
So, yeah.
But your eyes were connected.
Right.
Yeah.
Dustin didn't really successfully finish that sentence, but I think honestly, that's, you were on a good trail there, because Riley, again, someone that we all met, I think, because of this podcast. And that's just why it's been so great for us. And hopefully, I'm sure we're going to still work with you, do a lot of stuff in the community as well. But it's just great to meet you. And again, be able to showcase people like you who do so much in the community. And you don't do it to be showcased, but I think you deserve to get your name out there and for people to know what you're doing, and make sure they come in and fill your restaurant all the time. So again, thank you so much. I'll never forget the day when you sent me the message, hey, you got time for a phone call? And I told Dustin, I was like, holy fuck, I hope we get to do a burger of the month.
Yeah.
And sure enough, you called me, and yeah, hey, we'd love to talk to you guys about doing a burger of the month. Oh,
We're
life-changing.
Yeah, we're up over $122,000 all from people
Whoa.
coming in and buying burgers and having some fun. So we're just a vehicle for the people coming in and having some fun. And you guys are the very selfless. Most of you are very selfless individuals. And
Bullshit, you're a vehicle.
We are.
You're a
do
human
this,
being, man.
Yeah, you do this.
I'm a tank.
You don't need
You're
to
driving the bus.
You don't need to do this, and you do. So
it's fun.
You,
it's fun for us.
You have done such an amazing job, and 122,000. Yeah.
Keep going.
I got hours of footage. Ted told me I'm cut off at 40 minutes on this camera.
Yeah, we're getting close.
But my God,
40 minutes of
Riley.
you trying to say successful.
Yeah, that was a rough go.
He knocked it out of the park twice.
Yeah, and then you guys were all talking in my backswing.
You don't know it, but that's a good joke.
Yeah. But honestly, you don't have to do it, and you do it. And amazing job. You participate with so many schools with the ice cream sandwich program, the burger of the months. We were just so lucky to be a part of it, and we love to support it because it's so cool seeing the different creations that people have, from what ketchup chips to different chicken
Doritos.
sandwiches to
Yeah.
onion rings
Has
and
anyone-
Doritos. Like,
Has anyone else put Doritos on a burger yet?
We've done some Dorito dusting on a burger, but
Wasn't Dorito Dustin your high school nickname?
yeah.
Or-
So I just wanted to call bullshit on we're just using a vehicle.
Okay,
'cause-
we already did.
Anyway.
that. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
Hey, thank you, Riley. All right, well, thank you to the guests who came on and everyone for joining us here tonight again, even Mike Dempster, even though you've been nothing but a fucking nuisance since you showed up. You guys never been on a podcast before? Holy shit. Anyways.
It's got red hair.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, I don't. Let's get to the more, since we're already on a sentimental note, before we start to wrap it up. Again, we did this on our 1-year anniversary recording, and I want to do it again because we couldn't have brought this podcast to life at all, or to the levels that we did, without the incredible support from around Central Alberta, from all of our partners, whether like sponsoring our podcast, allowing us to afford the proper equipment to record, or even just treating us to a fun time, or in a lot of cases, both. A lot of people to thank, so buckle up. This is a long list of sponsors, which is, when I wrote this out, unbelievable. Of course, our presenting sponsor, Bo's Bar and Stage, Communal Creative Studios, Door Tender, Andrew Russell and Associates, Tourism Red Deer, Troubled Monk, Troubled Tea, Rob Ray Clothiers, the Blackfalds Bulldogs, Cilantro and Chive, Louis Corvo, Beyond Insurance, DNA Plumbing, Travis Kletke, Corey Kloss, Mike Soreo, the Sick Beauty.
I thought you were going to ask Lenny for a shoot in the breeze there when you inhaled.
No, I actually needed a breath. Designed Riders, Gord Smoke Shop, Stride Physio, Saks Thrift Avenue, Made by Maggie, Alberta European and Alberta Asian Motorworks, Hung Yuk, the Red Deer Chamber of Commerce, Town of Sylvan Lake, Stems, Flower and Cafe, PV Mart, Sunsport Recreation, Discovery Wildlife Park, and Canyon Ski Hill and Memphis Blues. And I'm so positive I might have missed someone.
That's
a lot, yeah.
Screwed up. Wow.
Man, we
Go ahead.
We bamboozled a lot of businesses. Oh my god.
We got them good.
Yeah.
We can.
There's paper towel. There's paper towel on top of the fridge.
We got him.
We got him.
Yeah. You know what? Like, Jesus Christ, Dempster.
My bum's wet.
But really, that is incredible. And, we always joke. I think it's almost like we're insecure about having people that actually listen and support us. And we say, we have tens of fans. It is incredible, the support we've seen. And again, it's just a testament to the community. But again, I just think for all of us here and everyone, just the way we can reach the community. So again, we're probably going to get into a lot of sentimental stuff now. But it's just what an incredible opportunity for us to get out in the community, make all these new relationships. And in a lot of cases, too, like reignite some old ones, right? Like old high school friends, people you haven't talked to in a while. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, some are friends, some are new friends.
Some are foes.
Dempster.
I was going to say, like, some we reconnected with. Me and Mike lived together for how many years in Olds? 2 years? And amazing to see the success he's had with DNA Plumbing and to support a crazy podcast that's on the air maybe when Ted wants it to be. Like,
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Absolutely.
To people we've met along the way, Aaron, honestly, like we've met through Hockey Alberta, and your husband has brought us into the firefighter group, like, which was, let's bring 3 overweight guys and a skinny guy into a firefighter shoot. But
Kevin's not overweight.
Yeah, I know. Speaking out of turn there a little bit, but how cool. The amount of support. Again, we talk about it a lot, but it's just ridiculous to me when I think about it at night. When I listen back to some of the interviews we've had with different people, influencers, business people, the mayor, NHL hockey players.
Who you're friends with.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's so cool, like, that he commit to come on this. He's got to okay that with the Vancouver Canucks. Just wild.
We're a big deal.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah.
And if any other Vancouver Canucks want to come on, we will do another episode.
Bo Horvat before you get traded.
Yeah, I think that this has been, and I've talked about it before on the podcast, but I knew I'd be moving to Red Deer when Griff got the job here, but really was reluctant to leave my life in Calgary, and I wasn't sure how things would work out in Red Deer. And it's truly been the best move that we could have made. And the people that we have met through the podcast, through work, through the stable where I keep my horse, like the entire community that we've become a part of has been so wonderful and welcoming. And some of the best friends that I've ever had are here in Red Deer. And I know we didn't talk about it on the podcast at all, but, you know, Griff and I had a hard 6 months this year with a lot of loss in our lives. And having you guys and this community has really been incredible. So thank you guys.
Jesus Christ.
Now I don't want to talk next time. I might go.
No, it's coming out of your forehead, so it can't come out of your eyes. That is my best joke I've ever had on this podcast.
32 episodes.
Yes!
That was good. I had a rebuttal too. I'm not even going to say it because I can't
It's too
talk.
good. It's too good.
Honestly, though, on that note, like, because we could go on forever and ever, and I think especially because I think we don't want this recording to end because that means it's truly over. But I'm going to try to keep it together because we will get to the mushy stuff here, some real soft moments. But I know I'm the one who decided to walk away from the podcast. Just became way too much for me. Did have really, like, right in the middle of this podcast, had some really tough times, and at times this podcast helped get me through it. At times it made it way worse. But honestly, it did, right? And like when you're already feeling shitty and just something happens, it compounds it times 10. But honestly, like, I'm walking away from this with the biggest smile on my face. You know, we already chatted last episode how grateful I am for everyone's understanding too of why we're ending this podcast. But it's really easy to say this has been the most incredible experience of my life. Like, I knew I did have faith in us when we started. Didn't think it would become what it did. I mean, I can't stress this enough. Like, I have honestly a dream job now because of this podcast. I left radio for 7 years. My first stint in radio went really bad. Thought that was it for me. And, we put in the work, we got out in the community, and it all came back full circle for getting this job. So through the job now, I get to keep doing this too, and that's where I do feel bad because I get to keep doing stuff like this day after day and getting out and meeting more people in the community. But I will say, without, like, I hope I don't sound condescending. I'm more like a proud papa because I'm proud of everyone on this podcast. Like, the 4 of you, well, 5 of you because Andrew too, right? And having no experience doing this and coming in, and I know we've had our ups and downs, but you guys committed to it. You joke that you get to come and just have fun and drink beer, and that's exactly what you get to do. But you show up, you put yourselves out there, and that's not easy to do, put yourselves out there. But the growth I've seen, honestly, from all of you and the skills you've gained from this, it's just been so cool to bring people into that part of my life. So, I'm really uncomfortable being nice for this long, but I just honestly cannot thank you enough, all of you guys, just for for this experience and what you've made this podcast. I know, like I said, not all good times, but man, I wouldn't trade any of this for the world. So thank you to everyone sitting at this table, everyone sitting in the room right now, and everyone who's partnered with us, listen, everything. Like, we honestly cannot put into words how amazing this experience has been.
Yeah.
All right, share your feelings.
All right. I mean, I'm not going to repeat what these guys said because
we're running out of tape.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. And Ted's going to be pissed. For the
last time, though.
Yeah, for the last time. No, but like at times it's been frustrating, but all the time I'm happy when I'm here. And at the end of the day, we started out about let's talk like we're at the bar table, having a beer, just shooting the shit, shooting the breeze, right?
Give us one. Give us one.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, you get 2 claps.
But that's really what we've always done. And to do it with 3 great friends and 2 friends that have been longtime friends, and Ted is a new friend, but feels like an old time friend.
Yeah.
Like, it's true. Like, I just feel there's a connection or whatever it is between us, but I feel comfortable when I come here, and I've had a great time doing it. And Ted, thank you for putting in all the hard work, and thank you to all of you for showing up. And I know I've been to blame for it's tough to make stuff, and like, I love all you guys. I've been sitting beside this guy for so long at campfires and in the dressing room, and he has always been hilarious. And the one thing I am most thankful for is that the world gets to know Ryan Lund because this guy is a fucking beauty. And not saying you guys aren't.
This guy gets
but
it.
Lund was a hidden treasure, and now he's a found gem.
He was a fucking nightmare to work with. I'll tell you that, like, honestly, but it was worth it because the world needs laughter, and that's what you bring.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I try to bring it. I try and bring it most days. I had a blast doing this podcast. This obviously wasn't something I had set out to do. I think it was something that you guys were really gung ho, and I'm for sure glad I did it. I have zero regrets. I had fun 99% of the time.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, we had 2 bad days basically out of 2 years, which is pretty good. I met so many cool people. Even tonight, we were talking to a restaurant owner, car dealership owner, a thrift shop owner, a real estate. Like, it's just so cool, like the variety of people that we've been able to bring together, and that we were able to just hear their stories and be able to share their stories. So it's been something that I didn't know I needed in my life, but I actually did need.
Oh.
And I'm forever grateful that you guys invited me to join the podcast, because I've had a blast, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. So cheers to I guess us 6, including Andrew, even though he's not at the table here. It was one of the most unique experiences of my life. I know it's ending, but hopefully it's not the end. So cheers.
Let's go.
Thank goodness.
Lenny, that was honestly a great way to cap things off. But before we end, I think we do have to talk about Beau's Bar and Stage Communal Creative Studios, because out of all the support we've seen, I mean, people have to understand Ryan and Riley, everything they've done with us is part of like a partnership with Beau's. It's on their own time. I know it has helped them build, their portfolio and get some more work, but still, they put in a lot of time for us, really just for the fun of hanging out. And I hope they had fun, but it was incredible. So for Brennan coming on again as such a major sponsor, and Ryan and Riley working with them, this podcast doesn't keep going without them. There's not a hope. Just to wrap things up again, just cannot thank Beau's Bar and Stage enough. And let's talk really quickly about our listeners, our followers, the supporters, because met so many people just through this podcast. Some people still haven't met, but just messaging them, they message us on Instagram and stuff like that. That's again been incredible. I can't believe that people, how many people do listen to this podcast. That's not a brag on us. That's just a testament to what you can do, though. Again, we're proud of our community. We're trying to get it out there, and people are picking up on that. So thank you, everyone. Even if you've listened to 47 minutes of this podcast total, watched one video on Instagram, followed us, anything like that, cannot thank everyone enough, because we're not here today without people actually listening to this and following along and actually picking up what we're throwing down.
Yeah, I've heard good things about this podcast too.
So guys, that's it. Here comes the hard part. It is time to say our final goodbye. Not really a goodbye, just a see you later, because as we've mentioned many times, it's not the end of Oh Dear. It's just the end of Oh Dear, the podcast. We're still going to be putting out hopefully lots of stuff on social media, getting out in the community, doing interviews still, posting on our YouTube page. But yeah, as for the podcast itself, this is pretty much it. Can't overstate our gratitude for everyone who supported us along the way. It's been an absolute privilege to sit here and help Red Deer in Central Alberta tell its story. We're incredibly privileged. We're so lucky to get to do so for the last 2 years and showcase even just a fraction of the incredible people that make up our community. So your support means the world to us. You're the reason we've even made it this far and have a podcast to end in general. So for the very last time,
cry.
I might. For Kevin Walsh, Dustin Moore, Ryan Lund, coworker Aaron, Andrew Russell, everyone at Communal Creative Studios by Beau's, I'm Ted Emmett. Thank you so much for listening to the Oh Dear podcast, and we'll see you around.
Yeah!